What's up, YouTube? Wanted to talk to you guys today about the importance of, timing your entries on your trades. Timing those kind of coinciding with a turn in the market. When you enter a stock, and not only, from that individual stock's perspective, but the overall status of the market is very important in terms of, when you actually begin to initiate positions. And something I've been working on a lot lately is doing my best to take, my biggest trades and positions as the market is coming out of a turn. Because when the market is coming, out of some sort of turn, that's when you typically can get 3, 4, 5 days in a row of, forward price action. And as options traders, those turns, those 4 or 5 day periods where we're kind of smooth sailing, as an options trader, that's my opportunity, to step in and kill it. And what I'll show you guys here is that, here's a daily chart for the S&P 500, and, we're talking about this turn right here, guys. So as you can see, the SPY's kind of been, getting beat a little bit here. And then finally, found a bottom and made a nice turn here. Made a nice turn to the upside. These are the kinds of situations where if you can do your best to identify that on day 1 or day 2, that's when you want to begin ideally to put some money to work. And I'm just going to show you the charts of a few trades that I've taken as of late in my mentor, and you're going to notice some, as the market began to make a turn, flow into the upside, so did these same exact stocks. So one trade that we had together was Square. And as you can see, guys, that was timed perfectly with the turn in the market. I'll show you that chart again. Money flowing into the overall market. And Square makes a very nice move. Now, for those of you who may not be too familiar with options trading, guys, just looking at this chart, that's a potential to double your money on that 2-3 day move right there. You only need a few of those a month, realistically, to really grow your account. Now, the average trader kind of enjoys to trade with a high frequency, but the reality is, guys, 1 to 2 times a month, we can catch these turns. You can put, more capital kind of than average to work, and you can make some great headway and then call it a day as soon as that momentum kind of stops. So, market turned and Square made a nice move. The market turned and SUPN made a nice move. And what you're going to see is, these aren't all the household name stocks, guys. These are just stocks that saw a large increase in buying volume as, again, I'm going to keep flipping back to this chart, as the market began to make its turn. What you guys, especially you newer traders, keep in mind, the S&P 500 is made up indirectly, guys, of, or directly rather, of 500 of the top stocks in the market. And it's weighted. So when I buy, $500 of SPY, the S&P 500, that $500 investment is getting thrown out, and broken up into those various different stocks that make up the S&P 500. So the reason timing our entries in an individual stock when the market is turning is because by default, if we're participating in this move right here, guys, a lot of stocks are going to see buying coming in. Another nice trade we caught on this turn was IMMR. These are all moves here, guys, with options. When you get a 2, 3, 4 day move, that's a good opportunity to, at the very least, double your money. My goal going forward for the rest of the year is on each of these turns, guys, when we get turns that last 4 or 5 days, my goal going forward is to put, some serious cash to work. And I'm looking to walk away with $15,000 to $20,000 of profits on weeks like this, where we're coming into a true turn. I'll show you guys another trade. This is one I personally took this week. No magic to it here, guys. When money enters the market as a whole, money enters these individual stocks. And now what you're going to notice is that when the market kind of takes a pause here, made that initial turn and is now taking a breather, what you're going to notice is that a lot of the big name stocks, or most stocks as a general statement, are taking a breather as well. Here's Netflix, guys, just a good example. When did Netflix make a little run up recently? When the market did. When the market chilled out, so did Netflix. So with that being said, guys, for those of you traders out there kind of, putting in some time this weekend, putting together your watch list for next week, I think we're in an interesting spot right now. We had this initial turn here in the market, and now we've kind of come to this little pause right here. and we're kind of just trading sideways the last few days or so. What I'm looking for here, guys, is another turn now. Could be a turn to the downside, or it could be a turn to the upside. We'll see if this forward momentum continues, but you want to bet your ass, guys. If this move continues and we get, 3, 4, 5 days of a turn here, pay attention to the market here, guys. If we begin to turn to the upside, that's a situation where you're going to want to look at the stock like a Netflix. Because if the market is making a turn, so will Netflix. So Netflix may be a good candidate to trade, guys. Something like, take a look at Facebook. Again, when the market was making its little turn here, so did Facebook. You could have made some serious money on that short little move. If the market kind of, comes out of this little pause it's doing and turns to the upside, these big name stocks like Facebook and Netflix by default are going to follow. So my personal watch list for next week, guys, is going to be Facebook. I like myself some Netflix here. I am going to be watching BZoon here today, heading into the close for a possible entry, as I like the volume explosion we're seeing in there. And I'm also going to look to trade the market as a whole, guys. We'll be looking to buy some calls on the S&P 500. So remember that, guys. Don't enter the day, or don't approach your trading kind of from that blinded view of you're looking only at that one stock and nothing else. Take the big picture into consideration, because if you do that, it's going to tell you when the time is to kind of step up your position sizes and when it's time to maybe take some of those profits off the table and chill for a bit. So something basic, guys, but as I always preach in trading, it's the basic things that make the biggest difference. So begin to take the big picture into consideration while you're taking your entries, guys. And again, those 4 or 5 day periods where we get turns right here, like we had here, like we had here, like we had here, that's when you can make some serious money, guys. Call it a day and get the hell out. So pay attention for that next week, and a lot more videos dropping soon, guys.